Human beings are social animals. A growing body of research has shown that interpersonal relationships are central to the lives of individuals. Satisfying interpersonal relationships are strongly linked to well-being of the individual. Therefore, social psychologists have been interested in studying various facets of interpersonal relationships. There are three major developments in research on intimate relationships: role of social cognition and emotions, role of attachment processes in adult romantic relationships, and influence of evolutionary psychology. Close relationships are somewhat universal. However, the nature and form of these relationships is highly affected by cultural factors. Culture defines the expectations, obligations, and the formation and development of these relationships. A very important feature of close relationships is interdependence. Interdependence refers to an interpersonal association between two people who consistently influence each other's lives. The interaction between parents and children is of utmost importance because they are usually the first contact of the child. The reciprocal interaction between the baby and the parents results in a positive educational experience for both. Close relationships are also crucial since they influence the nature of later interpersonal relationships. Apart from relationships with the mother, relationships with other members of the family are also important. Research has shown the importance of father, grandparents, and others in one's life. These relationships help the individual in further developing his interpersonal skills. The presence of other members can affect the individual in many ways. Most of the people grow up in a family with at least one sibling. Sibling interactions contribute in learning about interpersonal behavior. Sibling relationships often involve a lot of feelings like affection, hostility, and rivalry. It has been found that children with no siblings are less liked by their classmates and are more aggressive. This could be due to the lack of interpersonal learning experiences at home. During early childhood, most of us have casual friendships which generally begin on the basis of proximity. Many a time, such friendships can blossom into a mature, close friendship. Close friendship is a relationship in which two individuals spend a lot of time together and provide mutual emotional support. Women generally have more close friends as compared to men. Love is one of the most important emotions in our lives. The basic difference between love and friendship is sexual attraction or physical intimacy. Romantic relationships generally start with affiliation, proximity, and mutual liking. A very important feature of romantic relationships is interpretation of one's emotional arousal in the presence of another person as a strong attraction, which includes some potential for love and sex. The factors affecting interpersonal attraction also play an important role in mate selection. For instance, individuals tend to marry people who are similar to themselves on many dimensions like personality and physical attractiveness. Reciprocity too plays a major role in mate selection, not only with respect to mutual liking, but in the sense that every relationship involves an exchange of resources. Partners are found to be happiest when they perceive the allocation of resources in the relationship to be fair. Passionate love involves an intense and often unrealistic emotional reaction to another person. It usually begins with an instant, overwhelming, positive reaction to another person. The person is consumed with thinking about that person and nothing else. Companionate love is based on close friendship between two people who are sexually attracted, are quite similar to each other, care about each other and exhibit mutual liking and respect. This kind of love is able to sustain a lasting and satisfying relationship. Sternberg provided the triangular model of love. According to this model, a love relationship is made up of three basic components which vary in different couples. The first is intimacy, which is the closeness and the strength of bond between the partners. Second is passion, which is based on romance and sexual attraction. The third is commitment, which relates to the decisions made regarding the person that one loves, followed by a commitment to maintain the relationship. When all the components are balanced, it results in consummate love, which is the ideal form of love. Marriage is one of the most important events in the lives of most people. Marriage involves a commitment to remain in the relationship forever. However, for many people, this commitment doesn't last long. Given the importance accorded to marriage as an institution, a lot of research focus has been directed to it. The minding theory of relationships describes how closeness in relationships may be enhanced. Minding refers to the reciprocal process of knowing each other, which involves interrelated thoughts, feelings and behaviors of the persons in a relationship. Though close relationships are an essential part of our lives, sometimes we fail to maintain them. Some factors leading to the failure of relationships are cost and benefit analysis. That means marital satisfaction occurs when benefits are maximized and costs minimized. However, in the opposite scenario, marital dissatisfaction occurs. Next is finding out that there is lesser similarity between the partners than assumed before. The third is conflicts and disagreements between the partners. Next, when love is linked with material success. Despite the importance of close relationships in our lives, some individuals fail to establish them. This results in loneliness, which is an individual's emotional reaction to having fewer and less satisfying relationships in comparison to what he or she desires. But there are some individuals who desire solitude. Loneliness produces feelings of depression, anxiety and pessimism. Lonely individuals are perceived as maladjusted by many. Loneliness is also associated with poor health. So, we have understood that basically interpersonal relationships are central to the lives of individuals. There are three major developments in research on interpersonal relationships, which is importance to the role of social cognition and emotions, role of attachment processes in adult romantic relationships, and influence of evolutionary psychology. Culture defines the expectations, obligations, perceptions of close relationships. A very important feature of close relationships is interdependence. Close relationships within the family are crucial since they affect the nature of later interpersonal relationships. The attachment style formed early in life affects later relationships. Close friendship is a relationship in which two individuals spend a great deal of time together, interact in a variety of situations, and provide mutual emotional support. The failure to establish or maintain close relationships results in loneliness. The factors affecting interpersonal attraction also play a major role in mate selection. Passionate love involves an intense and often unrealistic emotional reaction to another person. Companionate love is based on extremely close friendship in which two people are sexually attracted, are quite similar, care about each other and express mutual liking and respect. Sternberg provided the triangular model of love consisting of intimacy, passion and commitment. Marriage involves a commitment to remain in the relationship forever. Marital happiness is affected by similarity, dispositional factors, etc. Close relationships fail due to disagreements and conflicts between partners, finding out that the similarity between the partners is less, and when the costs of being in the relationship are more than the benefits. Most of the research on interpersonal relationships is concerned with the individual, interpersonal and social contextual level of analysis. There has been a recent transition in interpersonal relationship research, a shift from studying only the qualities of individuals and their influence on relationships to studying relationships over time in a way that might help in explaining how relationships succeed or fail. This helps us in perceiving the interrelationships between the individual, culture, social interaction and social structure over time. Most of the research on interpersonal relationships is concerned with one of the three levels of analysis: individual, interpersonal and social contextual or systemic. Let's discuss the individual factors first. The first is neuroticism. It has been found in studies that chronically neurotic people are less satisfied with their relationships than those low on neuroticism. Attachment style. Attachment styles are global views of relationships. Attachment styles influence feelings, emotions and behavior in relationships, which can further affect the well-being and satisfaction experienced in the relationship. The second set of factors are the interpersonal factors. The first is unit of analysis. Recent relationship research focuses more on dyadic relationships rather than just focusing only on individuals. Interaction of self and the other. This relates to applying concepts of symbolic interaction to the study of well-being and stability of relationships. The third set of factors are social contextual factors, which include social networks. One important direction of research is to examine the influence of social networks on the quality and stability of relationships. One of the major areas of research in this regard is social support. The second is social construction of meaning. Another important research direction is to examine the social context of the construction of meaning within relationships. This is done to understand the relationship quality and stability through the use of narrative approach. Ethnicity and race. It is being said that in the coming years there will be an increase in relationships whose members are from multicultural backgrounds. Therefore, the relationship research needs to highlight the racial and ethnic contexts of relationships. From the above discussion, it is quite clear that close relationships are an essential part of our lives. Even though relationships are so important, many times relationships fail. Despite this, whether it is relationships within the family, friendships or romantic relationships, relationships occupy a central place in the life of individuals in all cultures.